are one of nature's wonders, and they've been creating a bit of a buzz in the city. I'm about to find out how bees in London have been surviving, with a little help from their keepers. At the heart of central London lies a secret hotel for bees in a real human hotel. You might think this is very unusual, but London has over 1,000 amateur beekeepers in the city. Right now I'm at St Ermin's Hotel in Westminster, about to meet Camilla, one of the busy beekeepers of London. She'll be telling us about her story with bees and hopefully letting us taste a bit of the sweet honey. Do you want to come with me? Camilla has been nurturing bees in this boutique hotel for the past few years. She takes me to the wildflower terrace on the 3rd floor to show me the home of 350,000 happy buckfast bees. They all shack up in 6 purple beehives outside this window. But before I pay my visit, I need to put on this bee suit in case they might be just a little bit too friendly. Let's see if I can get it on. Before her beekeeping hobby became a career, she was working as an arts consultant for 10 years. When studying at university, Camilla was not interested in bees at all. Now, as a full-time beekeeper, she is director of her own honey company called Capital Bee. So what's a day in the life of a beekeeper then?
This time of year it's really very busy. We're sort of into August now. If you're doing urban beekeeping like me, you're going to different sites all over London, so each day I'll go to like the West End or the city, or I'm going around schools. There's lots of bees that are being kept in education for universities and schools, because people are very interested in studying bees and supporting them really.
These special hexagonal suites are London's first B&B hotel. They offer a comfortable home for a wide variety of bees and insects like ladybirds, woodlice and spiders, whereas each beehive provides a permanent home for up to 40,000 honeybees.
So here they're flying up and they're going sort of 3 miles around. So they're going to Buckingham Palace and James Park, and they're flying back, and then they're painting the nectar onto the cells of the hive and drying out with their wings. And when the water content goes down to a certain level, right, 18% I think it is, they seal it, and it's honey at that point, so it'll last. So at this time of year they're starting to seal all the honey, so it might take them, 3 or 4 weeks from getting the nectar in to actually sealing it and it being ready to come off the hive.
Camilla tells me the first beehive she got was very grumpy, but now after 10 years she really knows how to keep bees happy and how to make the best honey out of them.
Each hive is a bit different. You feel it by the way that they react to you. So you hear it, so you can tell whether they're in a bad mood or what's going on with them. Just as soon as you open up with the hive, you can hear it. That's more characteristics, but certainly the stronger they are and the healthier they are, and the better start they have at the beginning of the year, the more chance you have of getting honey.
Since she's mentioned the honey, I think it's now time to taste some. To start with, we need to confuse the bees by using a smoker.
Well, you can just use cardboard, anything like that. People use wood shavings. Just get a bit of a fire going. Basically, you're lighting a smoker to send a message in the colony that there may be a fire in the area. That's what it's about, because in the wild they would have lived in hollow trees. And the smell of smoke means that they think we might have to move. And while they're thinking about that, they eat a bit of honey in case they need to vacate and set up shop somewhere else. So that distracts them, and it means that we can have a look inside the hive, and it drives them down into the bottom of the hive more, so that we can take honey out or do whatever we want to do, check how they're doing.
Most people will start on a national hive like this one. As you can see, because of the smoke, the bees have already begun to gather around and have a drink of honey.
There, so they're drinking up that nectar. Let's just have a look at another layer. And this is honey that's probably going to come off soon. These are all worker bees, like female worker bees. If you want to have a look at that, yeah, you just hold it by those corners there so you don't squash them. There you go. So they're just sort of finishing off sealing now, really.
Bees will make honey in the upper layers, while the bottom layer is where the queen is, so it's for making new bees.
So this is the queen excluder, so the queen can't get through that, or the drones, which are the boy bees. It's coming off there, nice and slow, there we go. We'll just have a little look at one, and take it really slowly, because you don't want to roll the bees against each other. So what's happening here is bees, like capped in cells that are about to hatch out. So the queen is laying like 1,000 eggs a day. That's pollen, and that's to feed the larvae. So they have like eggs, then that's the larvae there, and then when they're ready they seal them over, and then an adult bee will emerge, and that's a bee polishing out a cell there, getting ready for the next lot to come in. Okay, so, but as you can see, they're in a pretty good mood. It's a nice warm day, they're getting out. It's like sound, yeah.
Happy sound.
Yeah, that's the
happy bee sound.
They're not really bothered about us doing anything, you know.
Also, Camilla tells me a little tip to keep bees happy and healthy.
There's a problem at the moment with something called varroa, which is a parasite. It's one of the reasons that bees are having quite a lot of problems at the moment. And you can get rid of varroa, which is like a tiny mite, by doing things like putting icing sugar over them, and they clean each other, it knocks it off. So it's difficult for wild colonies to cope with varroa because they haven't really adapted to it yet. If you want, we can try a bit of honey out.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll just try a little bit. What'll happen is if we take this out, the bees will then reseal it in a So that's honey with a bit of wax in it, you can eat that.
Okay, I'm gonna give this a go. As precious to bees as liquid gold, thank you, my bee friends, for letting me try your excellent honey.
Sweet like honey.
Great. Should taste a few flowers and stuff in there as well.
I like the colour as well, it's sort of the golden, and really clear.
Yeah. At this time of year it's quite light, but as the year goes on in London, it gets darker and darker, and you get kind of like a caramel colour, and the taste isn't so sweet, it goes to a more like sort of barley sugar. We rely on gardeners in London to be planting for bees, and also all the trees. So lime trees around the streets and chestnuts in parks are fantastic for bees, and those are the things that actually make it a huge part of the nectar coming in.
We all know, well, bees need as much help as they can get from us.
And those people are learning more and more, so it's building up a kind of knowledge base, which means that people are more able to learn about things and to be better beekeepers. When I started 10 years ago, there's hardly anybody. So it's really great and it's an exciting time. But you know, you can keep bees, but you've got to make sure you've got enough forage to keep all the bees going. So that's sort of the next thing, I think. So it's all connected.
So now I know that the bees here have a really great selection of pollen from the parks and gardens around the area. But what about bees in other parts of the city? Do they find it easy to collect pollen?